Years ago, I landed a job at a massive company doing work that impacted literally tens of thousands of people. I was tasked with helping the team to build out our department and improve the work culture as a whole. There were so many hats we had to wear in this team, and there was a lot going on all around us. I was surrounded by brilliant people who I perceived were so much more qualified than I was. The result of this was that I felt like I really wasn't supposed to be there, like I didn't belong. What I was experiencing is called imposter syndrome. Many people experience this and struggle with it in a variety of environments. Imposter syndrome is a psychological phenomenon where you have persistent feelings of self-doubt and inadequacy, despite evident achievements and qualifications. It's where you feel like you just don't belong there. I was in this situation feeling like, how did I get this job over all the other candidates? What did I do to deserve any of this? It was extremely stressful and it actually impacted the quality of my work. It shifted my confidence levels and really made me rethink what I was capable of doing. To work through imposter syndrome, you can start by gathering evidence of your accomplishments. There's so much objectively to consider here, right? What personality traits do you bring to the table? What have you done in the past to help solve similar problems at similar organizations? What did you do in the interview process that made you stand out? Or what's on your resume? Or who did you know that you connected with that helped you push through and beat everyone else that was applying for the role? I like to keep a development document that houses all of my big achievements at work and in my personal life. Every time I hit a big milestone, I do a cool project, I make some interesting impact or have some sort of numerical value assigned to the result of a project I did, I love to document it there because it keeps a helpful repertoire of all these things I can reference. Not only can I use these things on my resume, but I can look back on them on a personal level to say, if I'm ever feeling doubtful or like an imposter, I can look at this and say, yeah, look at all these really cool things I've gotten to do in the past. Look at all these great impacts that I've had. The next thing you can do to help with imposter syndrome is to define what good enough looks like for you. Perfection just doesn't exist with humans. It's not possible. 100% of the time to be 100% right in 100% of situations, it just literally will never ever happen. You have to get rid of that idea of perfection and grieve perfection. It's never going to happen because we're all human. We are innately flawed. So you really have to be careful how you're thinking about this. That doesn't mean you can't strive for the best though. Pay close attention to your energy levels, your stress, sleep quality, and mood throughout the days. Jot down what you think good enough looks like in a notepad or some document somewhere. Really break it down and make sure you understand what actually is good enough. Not perfect, but good enough. You're trying your best here, knowing that you're not going to be perfect 100% of the time in all situations. We can try our best and we can put our best foot forward, but we need to validate this with other people. We need to make sure it's achievable. We need to make sure it's realistic, it's timely, and it actually makes sense for what we're trying to work through here. Take a close look at this and use this as your guiding compass. Anytime you're feeling stressed, you're feeling out of place, and then imposter syndrome kicks in, you want to shift back to this and say, hey, you know what? This is actually kind of above these standards, or this kind of meets these already. I don't know what I'm stressing about. This is my guiding compass, and this will help me avoid feeling so much burnout in the future, trying to kill myself trying to get to absolute perfection for a task. One last thing you can do to help with imposter syndrome is to reframe negative thought patterns and behaviors. I started out with thought patterns like, I'm not smart enough, I'm not qualified enough, what did I do to deserve any of this? I eventually shifted that to, well, I actually went to graduate school for all of this and studied this for years, and I have years of work experience solving similar problems at similar organizations. I just don't know how to use their systems yet. I just haven't learned their way of doing it yet. I did all these other cool things at these other places. I've received praise from people I respect and people that I value. These are role models that I've had in the past. This is a way of thinking that shifted me away from the negativity and all those feelings that were bringing on this imposter syndrome. I started to come from a place of curiosity and passion rather than a place of scarcity and self-doubt. This changed everything over time. So if you're struggling with imposter syndrome, remember to gather objective evidence of your accomplishments, define what good looks like and validate it, then reframe your negative thinking. By doing all of this, you'll mitigate the imposter syndrome and you'll shift into a place of abundance. Remember to take care of yourself. Remember to take care of those around you. And for all things psychology to help you think, feel, and perform better, stay tuned right here on Psychology of Living.